Good morning to all of you. In previous class, I have taught you about the topic linear momentum. Okay? And in the linear momentum topic, I have taught you that the linear momentum is product of mass and velocity. What is linear momentum? It is the product of mass and velocity. It means if the object will be at rest, v will be equal to 0, and in that case momentum will be also equal to 0. It means that if the object is at rest, it does not possess any linear momentum. Its linear momentum is 0. Okay? Now, if we apply force, as we are seeing that from here, that mass, we know that the mass of an object never changes. Mass is always constant. So if we take mass as constant, that then momentum will be directly proportional to velocity of an object. Momentum will be directly proportional to velocity of an object. So if momentum is directly proportional to velocity of an object, it means what? That if the velocity of an object will increase, if velocity of an object will increase, momentum will also increase, and if velocity of an object will decrease, then momentum will also decrease. But how it will happen? How the velocity of an object will increase, or how the velocity of an object will decrease? As in the previous class, I have taught you about balanced and unbalanced force. In my second lecture, I have taught you about balanced force and unbalanced force, and I have also explained you about the effect of force. What are the effect of force? And in unbalanced force, we have seen that unbalanced force can change the speed of an object. Means if the if a object is moving, suppose I am taking an example that if an object is moving in a particular direction, okay, the object is moving from A towards B, it is in motion, the object is in motion and it is moving in the direction from A to B, and I am also applying a force in that particular direction only. Means the applied force is in the direction of motion of an object. So what will happen? Its velocity will increase. Its velocity will increase. And if the velocity will increase, then momentum will also increase. Then momentum will also increase. It means what? It means that if we apply a force on an object, so its velocity changes. Means if there we want to change the linear momentum of an object, what we have to apply? We have to apply an external force. And if the direction of force is in the direction of motion, then momentum will increase. And if the direction of force is opposite to the direction of motion, if the direction of force is opposite to the direction, if the object is moving, once again I am taking the example that object is moving from A to B, but the force is applied from B to A. So what will happen in that case? The velocity of an object will decrease, and when the velocity will decrease, momentum will also decrease. It means force is required to change the linear momentum of an object. Force is required to change the linear momentum of an object. If velocity is more, momentum will be more, and if velocity will be less, momentum will be less. Now, we will study about Newton second law, or only we can write it as second law of motion, or you can also write Newton's second law of motion. So what does Newton's second law of motion say? According to Newton's second law of motion, okay, rate of change of momentum of a body, according to Newton's second law, rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the force applied on the body. Is directly proportional to the force applied on the body. So what does Newton's second law say? According to Newton's second law, rate of change of linear momentum, or you can only write momentum, of an object is directly proportional to the force applied on that object. Rate of change of linear momentum of an object is directly proportional to the force applied on that object, and the change in linear momentum is in the direction of the force applied. This change will in the direction of the force applied. So this is our statement of second law of motion, that the rate of change of linear momentum of an object is directly proportional to the force applied on the object. ठीक है? Applied on the object, and the direction of change is in the direction of the force applied. Okay, it means we can say that force is equal to our change in momentum upon time. What is force? Force is our change in momentum upon time. Okay. Now, second thing, that we all know that this change in momentum or change in linear momentum, it depends on the force. If the force applied will be more, change in linear momentum will also be more. Okay, and if the force applied on an object will be less, so change in linear momentum of the object will also be less. Okay, so this is about the second law of motion. Now we will see the mathematical expression for second law of motion. Okay, so mathematical expression of second law. So according to mathematical expression of second law, let us assume a body whose initial velocity is u. What we are considering, that let us consider that an object or a body whose initial velocity is u. Okay, and in time t, the body velocity changes to v. Okay, in time t, the body velocity changes to from u to changes. The body velocity changes from u to v. It means what is v? It is our final velocity. Okay, so we are considering that let us assume a body whose initial velocity is u, and in time t the body velocity changes from u to v, means v is what? Final velocity. So here what will happen? The initial momentum, initial, I am writing so that all the thing will come in one board. Okay, so initial velocity is u and final velocity is how much? V. So that's why initial momentum I am writing here with pi is equal to mass into initial velocity, and final momentum, that is pf, I am indicating with mass into final velocity. Okay, so initial velocity I am taking as u and final velocity I am taking as v. So initial momentum is pi and final momentum is pf. So what will be the change in momentum? So the change in momentum I am representing with delta. P will be final momentum minus initial momentum. So but according to second law, what we are saying that force is directly proportional to change in momentum, change in momentum upon time. What is force? Force is directly proportional to change in momentum upon time. It means force is directly proportional to delta P by T. Because what is change in momentum? Change in momentum is delta P. So we can write that force is directly proportional to Pf minus Pi upon T. Pf minus, I am writing clearly here. Okay. So force is directly proportional to Pf minus Pi upon T, or we can say that force is directly proportional to what is Pf? Mv minus Mu upon T. हो जाएगा? Because what is Pf? That is final momentum Mv, and what is Pi? Initial momentum Mu. Okay. So I am writing the remaining part here. So what we have got, that force is directly proportional to, if we will take M common, that is V minus U upon T. Let this be question number 1. What is force? Force is directly proportional to M V minus U upon T. But we know that A is equal to V minus U upon T. What is V minus U upon T? A. So now, putting the value of A from equation second in equation first. Putting the value of A from equation second in equation first, we have, what we have? Force is directly proportional to Ma. What we got? Force is directly proportional to Ma, or F is equal to Kma. Where what is K? It is proportionality constant. What is K? It is proportionality constant. So we are taking the value of K is equal to 1. So if K is equal to 1, what is F? We are getting that F is equal to M into A. Means force is the product of mass and acceleration. What is force? It is the product of mass and acceleration. Okay, so from here we have got the statement that force is directly proportional. This line is not visible to all of you, so I am writing here it is, so that it may be visible to all of you. Okay, that force is directly proportional to delta P by T, or force is directly proportional to delta P is what? Pf minus Pi upon T. Okay, now it will be visible to all of you. Okay, and we know that here force, what is Pf? Mv minus Mu upon T. This is upon, okay, upon T. So once again I am explaining to you that what I have done. I have considered a body whose initial velocity is u, and in time means after time t. Okay, in time t, or you can write after time t, the body velocity changes from u to v, or the body velocity become v. So here u is what? Our initial velocity, and v is what? Our final velocity. So initial velocity is u, final velocity is v. So if the initial velocity is u, and also we are considering that, let us assume a body. Here we have to write a statement. Let us assume a body of mass m. बॉडी का मास कितना कंसीडर कर रहे हैं हम लोग? m. So let us assume a body of mass m whose initial velocity, और थोड़ा सा हम इसको ब्रीफ में लिख दे रहे हैं यहाँ पे एक ही लाइन में, ये थोड़ा सा आप लोग को और क्लियर हो. ओके, let us assume a body of mass m whose initial velocity is u. तो हम लोग क्या कंसीडर कर रहे हैं? एक बॉडी जिसका मास कितना है? m, और उसकी इनिशियल वेलोसिटी कितनी है? u, और आफ्टर टाइम t द बॉडी वेलोसिटी चेंजेस फ्रॉम u टू v. मतलब इनिशियल वेलोसिटी बॉडी की हमने क्या कंसीडर किया? u, और फाइनल वेलोसिटी बॉडी का हमने क्या कंसीडर किया? v. तो अब सिंस इनिशियल वेलोसिटी u है, तो इनिशियल मोमेंटम क्या होगा? मास इनटू इनिशियल वेलोसिटी m इनटू u. फाइनल वेलोसिटी v है, तो फाइनल मोमेंटम क्या होगा? m into v. Okay, now what I am considering, that since initial momentum is our mu and final momentum is our mv, and I have written initial momentum with pi and final momentum with pf, so the change in momentum, then you can write change in momentum delta p is equal to pf minus pi, means final momentum minus initial momentum. And according to Newton's second law, what we know, that force is directly proportional to change in momentum upon time. So what is change in momentum? Change in momentum is delta p. So in place of change in momentum, I am writing delta p upon t. So your force is directly proportional to, what is the value of delta p? Delta p is equal to pf minus pi. Okay, final momentum minus initial momentum upon t. And what is final momentum? Final momentum is equal to mv. So I have written in place of pf, I have written mv, and in place of pi, I have written as mu upon t. Okay, so from here I can take m common. So force will be directly proportional to m common, v minus u upon t. And we know that a is equal to v minus u upon t. We know that from first chapter. Okay, so now we are putting the value of a, from equation 2 in equation first. So in place of this, what I can write? A. So force will be equal to how much? It will be directly proportional to ma, or we can say F is equal to kma, where what is k? K is our proportionality constant. What is k? K is our proportionality constant, and we are taking the value of k is equal to 1. Let k is equal to 1. Okay, so F is equal to ma. So this is the proof of second law of motion, that force is the product of mass and acceleration. Force is the product of mass and acceleration. So what we are seeing here, that from the second law of motion we are getting the value of the force. Force is equal to ma, we are getting the value of force. So that's why exact, since we are getting the magnitude of force, so that's why Newton's second law of motion is said to be quantitative law. Hope what I have taught to you, that is clear to all of you. So in the next class we will study about we will derive from Newton's second law of motion, that Newton first law of motion is the special case of second law of motion. So सेकेंड लॉ से हम लोग फर्स्ट लॉ को डिराइव करेंगे नेक्स्ट क्लास में, एंड वी विल स्टडी अबाउट न्यूटन थर्ड लॉ ऑफ मोशन. थैंक यू, गॉड ब्लेस यू ऑल.